Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to World of Tanks Generals. This is your somewhat lovely host, Newton BT, and today we are going to be doing 21st, because I decided we will be. Like, I know I've covered the 21st, sort of, but I didn't do it in a video where I actually posted the deck list. So I'm just going to do it with a video I actually posted the deck list, and also I'm out of no HQs that I'm comfortable at this moment showing off. Like, yes, I did just recently get the I'm just doing it again. This is actually okay. I'll keep it. And I'll do this since I'm planning to only deploy this. Sorry. But yeah, I do have the second and I do have Clausewitz, but I'm currently not comfortable showing those off like while recording. Mostly because, well, in the second's case, I haven't played a game with it yet. So I just want to make sure I have a working deck list or something, because I didn't save my deck list from CBT in it. I didn't really care for it too horribly much. And also, why am I doing a lot? Oh, that kind of sucks, bro. But also it kind of has to do with, like, in Clausewitz's case, I don't have the cards to actually show off a deck that can get more than like a 25% win rate. So you'll have to wait a little bit for Clausewitz. In the second's case, I'm not comfortable showing people it just because, well, I haven't played it. I kind of want to be playing a deck before I start to show people the deck. Alright, so what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to trade 2 cards into this, because he did give up 1 card, just kind of blatantly. So we can, sorry about that cough again, we can kind of afford to do this. So this was actually really worth it. With 6 cards to his 6 cards, so that's okay. But that 4 resource growth, that can really kind of hurt us. Because that's like possible 4 extra on his, why am I doing again? So, like 4 extra toughness on his Lee, potentially, or just more units on the board. Like, he could just have deployed another Jagdpanzer, or whatever else extra he wants, and I'm not a fan of the idea of him rapidly deploying units. He probably doesn't have a Lee, though, realistically. But I'm also not okay with that idea either. I'm just going to throw that out there. Sorry about that cough again, guys. I'm going to just deploy 2 units, because, of course, 2 units, always better than 1 unit. That's actually a true statement. You do actually get more stats this way. This is like a 4-9. Well, this is a 3-9. And plus a 2 extra resource growth. Makes it possible to play both T-35 and a target locked, if so needed. If that's required. And it might be. Sorry about that cough again. 3, 6, 7, 8. 3, 6, 7, 8. He could kill this potentially. It'd be nice to draw a last stand, because I'm not okay with this as an idea. 3, 6, 7. He can just kill that. 3, 6, 7, 8. So we're actually just going to use the target locked, and we'll remove this card. We'll use that target locked just for 6 damage for probably next turn. 4, 7, yep, to R7. The target locked will be getting value soon. 3, 6, 9. He can kill this. He can very much so kill this. But he will need to trade a unit into it. Either one of these. I would probably want to actually trade the T-35 into it, because it will just die next turn if he trades the Jagdpanzer into it. I would prefer if he traded the Jagdpanzer into it, which means he really should probably trade the T-35 into it. I mean, both do die next turn, but the T-35 dies for, like, more... It's more free killing it than what this will be, because I'll have to shoot it with Arty. Possibly. Like, I won't have to shoot it with Arty, but that's an option here. Like, I'm kind of really hoping I draw logistics here, just so I can just kill that for kind of free-ish. Otherwise, I'm going to have to just eat 3 damage on my T-35, which can be okay, because he won't have units on the board to protect his Arty after that. So that can actually be pretty good for us. He's going to remove 3 cards from our deck. Sorry about the cough again, guys. It is getting a lot better, though. In case you didn't notice that, it's a lot better than what it was. I will be killing that like Thractor. Yeah, there's not even an option here. 5. He'll need 2 damage in hand to deal with this. Maybe I should have moved that up, but oh well. Alright, so we have 7 cards to his currently 5. We have 6 that are useful to his 4 that might be useful. By useful, I mean cards that will immediately have an impact on the game, instead of just keeping him alive longer. I mean, these are defensive squads currently aren't really having a huge impact. Okay. He has a couple options here. Looks like he's taking the safer one. He wasted 1 damage there. That's a safer one. He could have considered shooting it first, and so he could kill it with a priest to mill us out a little quicker. Oh, lovely. Lovely. That is the perfect draw. Sorry about that cough again, guys. Alright, so we effectively remove the threat of the priest right here. So we are going to deploy the T-21 because I want to get more units up there to deal with his units. To better deal with his units. Because we have 5 cards to his, well, sort of 3. This is sort of still a card. It's just not going to impact the battle a lot anymore. It's definitely not going to win the game for him. That's why Last Stand is a really great card, actually. I mean, I would argue it's not overpowered or anything, but I can't really argue that it's bad either, because it's really good for countering the priest in particular. That's the one reason why I really love it. It's one of the best cards for this matchup, is what I'm trying to say. But in general, it's not an incredibly strong card in general, to a point where it should like be changed or anything. Sorry, but it's also not a bad card. It's not by any means a bad card. It's a good card. It's just not overpowered or anything. Like, I have seen some people say it's overpowered, but I have to strongly disagree. It's a good card. It's not always good enough to be in a Russian deck. However, it really should be in a Russian deck a lot of times. That's why I was worried about moving this up, because tank destroyers are a thing. Grr. He's going to kill this for kind of free. This is not what we want happening. Alright, I'm actually very okay with that, because he didn't get any healing off of that or anything. And it was card for a card instead of what he could have done, no cards for a card. So, okay then. That worked out better for us than I expected it to. Alright, we're definitely playing this. We're definitely shooting that. So that's the best way to get rid of cards, is with Arty. Arty's really pretty good. And we are going to be playing this, because we need to keep this pressure up. Once I kill these units, I might consider backing off, but I might not. It just depends on how it looks. Right now, it's looking pretty good for our push. Sorry about that cough again, guys. Very sorry indeed about that cough. Alright, we're going to keep this push up then. It's looking pretty good for us right now. As we just cleared his board out. He can do 2, that's not a huge deal. We got another unit that we drew. Things should work out fairly well for us, especially now that we drew this. T-46 was a great draw here. The AT-1 was also a great draw. If I can get that into his Brighead 2, that can be a really good time for us. Okay, yeah, this is going well. This is going incredibly well, guys. Can't really ask for much better. And I could ask for 1 damage, but I don't have a way to deal 1 damage. So I'm going to do it like that. I mean, I could have shot for 2 and... Wait, no, I couldn't have. Could have hit for 2 up here, but that's not getting in the Brighead, so it makes no real... I could have backed off. Yeah, there were slightly better ways I could have done it, but not a huge deal, because I could have shot with the AT-1, backed it off, moved the Liberty up, moved the T-21 up, and then moved this up here and dealt with that more perfectly, but it's really not a huge deal. Mostly because I kind of want the AT-1 in there, just because it has camo. Which, in my opinion, makes it a lot better for staying in the Brighead. Because he can't shoot it. He can shoot this, but that's about it. Alright, so that's 4. And I think we won. Yep, we won. Alright, I am recording, right? Yes, I am recording. I'm always worried that I'm not recording. So that wasn't too bad. We were brought down to 13 cards, which is actually kind of horrifying, but it's okay. That asset he was running, I don't actually care for that asset very much, with the 3rd especially, because, well, it makes sense. Like, yeah, it brings you closer to your win condition. It's not unnecessary, because it's only 2 cards. You can easily discard 2 cards. But where it hurts the most is it kind of doesn't let you bring camo, which is really good for this matchup. As is tactics right here, because I do like dealing 2 damage to his squads, because this HQ can't bring camo, which I really would want, but yeah, its best counter to Jut is the 2 damage to things, a close combat, just because he does have to deploy a lot of cards to play effectively. So it's going to do a good amount of damage to his squads, hopefully. Hopefully he doesn't just have a bunch of orders. Hopefully he deploys like 4 squads. Oh, this is not a good draw for us. This is a really bad draw for us. We got the scouts, but we need more than the scouts. We don't even have a unit to deploy, which is a problem. I mean, we do have a slight advantage here, as we do reduce his firepower a little bit, but we need more out of this. I was really hoping for police, because police really does hurt Jut a lot. I was hoping for a light tank for the T-46, because it can get to him quickly. It can also protect us, too. If need be. Like, if we really need to, it can take a shot for us. It's always nice. A Su-18 would be nice here. We have a lot of counters to Jut. At first hand, maybe we should have kept. Might have been a bit better than this. Okay then. Police is always good against Jut, though, because it does do damage to his units. Alright, 2, 4, 6, I guess. Actually, we'll just deal with it like this. So we can then just play this and hit him for 3. Oh, that might not have been the best idea because I forgot it did 2 damage to it. It's bad that I'm forgetting about our own asset. Very sorry again, guys. Very, very sorry again. I probably should have just done the help for the front like I initially wanted. That was probably bad, but hey, we'll be drawing an extra card sooner, I guess, too, is a good thing. I also considered hammering this MS1, but this MS1 can't hurt this AT1. It physically can't hurt this AT1. I'm going to hammer that, though. Definitely hammering that, because that's 1 more damage on me. Oh, I should have hammered... Oh, wait, no, because he would have had 5 anyway. Might want to consider playing hammer now, though, on it. He had a pretty good opening. Because now it does remove his ability to play Together We Win. Probably would have been a good idea last turn. Let's see what we draw first. We're not drawing what we need to draw. We're really not drawing what we need to draw for this matchup. This is not what we want to see, guys. Sorry, the target locked, I might be removing those cards from this deck, actually, because they're not incredibly useful. But they sometimes are. They were a little bit ago, because there were a lot of heavy tanks, because people were kind of newer, and newer players seem to be drawn to heavy tanks, which is understandable. No. Sorry again, guys. No, that's not what we wanted to see. It's disastrous. Did he blitz at it? Well, yeah, I guess he had to, because it does cost 3. Alright, it does cost 3, so... Now we're not going to get rid of this. Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, unless we don't want to play a unit, though. We can't play a unit and get rid of that. Alright. We'll just get this out and hope to draw a defensive card next turn. Defensive cards are very good against Jut. It doesn't really matter what other people say, they are pretty good because it does let you slow down the game a little bit against it, which you need to do. The longer you can live for, the better it is for you. Not what I wanted to draw. Not at all what I wanted to draw. I mean, we have a chance, because we can live another 4 turns. If we would have drawn cops this turn, we could have lived another, well, several. Unless he drew a squad. Sorry, get out of that cough. I am putting a cough drop in my mouth right now, guys. That will help me not feel like coughing very much. Wow, the target locked will actually be useful here. That's not sarcasm either, guys. That was sincere. Okay, that's actually good for us. This is also good for us. Although... yeah, we'll keep it there. That way it does block a shot for us. He probably won't kill it next turn. And that's another turn that we have an opportunity to draw like a Su-18 or police or something. Alright, he is going to kill it. Okay, that's not a very good thing for us. Alright, that's a pretty good draw. That's kind of exactly what we need to draw here. I should have drawn before playing, actually. Alright, not a huge deal. We do need to get that over there to start doing damage to him, but we are surprisingly matching his damage output. Not the best thing for us. So now this only blocks one more round of damage. But it's still 2 rounds of damage that it is blocking. Alright, so we got the Liberty out now. That won't be to him for another 2 turns, which is kind of unfortunate. Come on, we need more defensive cards. We only have 12 of them. We do actually have 12 defensive cards. We have 3 scouts, 3 police, 3 Su-76s, and 3 T-46s. So our chances of drawing one are actually a lot higher than normal decks have. We're just not drawing any. This is really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. But we are now going to be out damaging him. Oh, that's bad for us. Oh, now we only have 3 turns. Well, 2 more turns after this. Maybe only 1. If he has it together, we win. Come on. Not what I needed. Not at all what I needed. Game, why do you hate me? That is not what we needed to draw. Alright, we can win next turn. If he doesn't have it together, we win. This hammer won't make a difference. Don't have it together, we win. Don't have a... He has it, we lost. That is actually almost unbelievable. We drew the worst cards for this matchup. It's really annoying when your deck almost counters the deck, and you lose to it because you just don't draw cards that you need. Oh well, it happens. It happens. I just wonder where the cops were. They were probably in the donut shop. I should not make jokes like that. That's probably offensive to cops. I'm sorry, police. I'm very sorry. Although I do like donuts, and I'm sure some cops do enjoy themselves a donut. Obviously, mine were probably doing that. Probably towards the bottom of my deck. I should have just kept that first hand. But I was like, I really need a better hand than this. It was kind of bad. The target locked. Those 2 cards, probably kind of a bad thing to have in our deck. And this is a long queue. I'm not a fan of long queues. Am I going to have to edit this one again? Well, I didn't even edit that last one. I just put an annotation in because I continued it. Oh, there we go. Nah, this will be fine. I don't know if that's the same. Is this the same third? It might be. It's a pretty good hand against him, actually. Yeah, we'll just take that. We don't need to do 2 damage to things, really. Sorry for that cough. Because we are going to be playing 3 cards. We don't want to just take 6 damage. If we were going first, I would definitely grab that asset, because then we would just lay this down because we wouldn't have problems with discarding cards. I'm not a fan of that tank, actually. 1-3 with camo just doesn't seem good to me. Like, it's 1-3. Yeah, it has camo, but it's still a 1-3. I mean, yes, it costs 1, but it just doesn't seem good enough to want to include in a deck. Doesn't make me want to include it in a deck, at least. Could do this a couple different ways, but we are doing it this way. I'm not going to kill that with the support either, because that right there would be very much not worth it at all. Really, really not worth it at all. I'm very happy letting him shoot me with these, because he's probably not going to rush me down. I'm kind of doubtful of his ability to be able to rush me down. He won't really be able to keep up that much pressure. I mean, 3 damage isn't that bad to deal with. I think he's a rush deck. Okay then. I mean, 3 damage is what I'm able to do to him with Artie, and that's without any... Well, that's actually with 1 squad. I can't say without any squads. That includes the assistance of 1 squad here. But I mean, I have this, so yeah. I don't see this going incredibly well for him. I don't see this going well for him at all. It is kind of cool that he's trying to play this as like a strike styled rush deck. That is kind of cool, and it could work in higher tiers actually, because you do have that counting on you card, which is kind of cool. It's kind of a very cool card actually. What it does is it sets like your unit's firepower and your squad's strength to 4, meaning he would be hitting for a ton of damage if he used that, but this is way too low of tier for him to actually have that card probably, so he probably does not have that. I mean, he could have 1 copy possibly. I'm not exactly sure on the power on it, but it might. Do I want to get rid of 1? No. No, I doubt he has counting on you. Doubt they're going to become 4/3s. Those would actually be very good with that. Because they would be a 4/3. They would be exactly a 4/3. He can kill something, but he chose not to. It wouldn't really be that good for him if he did anyway. It'd be kind of bad for him. Oh, he's killed my Su-76. Okay. He's killed my poor Su-76. I'll probably kill one of these. And then I'll probably actually drop the support on the other one. Because there's really no reason not to drop the support on it at this point. Yeah, well, that's the weirdest support. That's the weirdest thing I've ever used support on. That's kind of... I'm not going to talk about that statement. Alright. So, we're probably going to win this game. Maybe he wasn't a rush deck. Maybe he just drew really, really badly. But, I mean, he has, like, all the cards for it. He had 2 offensive squads. He had the Together We Win, and... I don't know. There's always a chance this isn't how his deck was meant to be played. It's just what happened. Which is... still really bad for him. Like, that doesn't make this scenario any less horrible for him. I kind of am hoping this is kind of a rush deck, because that's kind of cool. it's interesting. It's different, and that's always fun to see interesting and different things. And it doesn't always necessarily work out, but we're going to play it on that just to be super safe. This way now he can only hit us for like 3 at maximum. 3 is, oh, actually 6 at maximum. It didn't make a big difference. It removed one damage potential from him, because he could have hit us for 7 at maximum if he has Crush, which, I mean, if he's a US based rush deck, of course he's running Crush, I hope. Because that's what you'd have to do with this. Is Crush would be a really good card for sort of your faster US decks that can just kind of afford to play Crush, like the third. I did actually want to make a third into a kind of like a rush deck just to get like US missions done faster, US like win missions, because rush decks are good for that. However, I couldn't find anything that actually was really that strong like what Jut is, because Jut's reasonably strong. It can win a lot of its matches. Kermark. Couple ways to play Kermark. Wonder how he is playing. Either way, we are definitely taking close combat, because we have a good close combat hand. I mean, T-35-1 is going to be our play. So we're going to be only taking 2 damage, and he'll hopefully be taking at least 4. If, like, close combat's really worth it, if you think that you're going to get damaged by it less than your opponent. And right here, it's almost guaranteed that he's going to at least get affected by it as much as we are. Because if he's like a squad-based Kermark, like the one I play sometimes, he's going to have a lot of squads damaged. Or if he's a swarm-based, he's going to have a lot of units damaged. Either one's good with me, or at least one. But if he decides not to play any units or squads because of this and just play orders, that's also okay. Because that means he's kind of like hampering himself. He's kind of like affecting himself for that. And right here, that was actually pretty okay, because he did take 2 damage. And he did use 2 orders on our T-35. I wonder if this did change his play, actually. If it did, that's very okay with me. Alright. He hasn't put on a lot of pressure yet. Thought I had 8. I'm kind of stupid. Sorry, guys. I was like, oh, I can play this T6 and the T46 at the same time. And I was like, wait, no, I can't, because I only had 7. Oops. It happens, guys. It happens. Oh well, I'm giving him an extra resource now. Giving him very much so an extra resource. Right now I'm playing it under the assumption that he is more of like a squad-based Kermark. Just because of this opening. He might want me to think that he is a squad-based Kermark though, and he might put down some units. Like that. I'm now starting to wonder. So I did give him a free card. Well, I didn't give him a free card. He did spend 2 cards to kill it. But it's more free than what it could have been. He might be a normal Kermark. He might have just had this as an opening and played it to either, like, fake the squad Kermark that I was kind of worried about, or there's a couple possibilities here. Because you can kind of like try to fake out like what type of deck you are, like fake your opponent out a little bit is always a possibility. So I'm still trying to figure out what exactly he is. Right now I'm not very worried about him rushing me down, though. Alright, I know what he is now. He's pretty normal Kermark deck. Alright then. Huh. Trying to figure out how I want to deal with this. I don't really want to give him this at all, but I might have to. Don't really want to use this on that because I can just remove it with an order. Oh, what am I doing? I can actually just do this. I didn't need to play this. And then I could have just killed this with Last Stand. Like that, and I would have had one more durability. That was a mistake, guys. I hate it when I make mistakes. That was my original plan, except I was going to drop the support on the other one, but for some reason him playing a slightly different light tank confused me, where it really shouldn't have confused me at all, and it made me waste 1 HP on my squad, which is kind of annoying, but hey, at least the squad does redraw itself, although it's not a really good way of looking at it, because it was still a mistake. Alright, so he is definitely a light tank based Kermark with some medium tanks. I'm sure he wants to make use of this ability and have a lot of units on the board. So, I mean, I'm kind of hoping at this point to give him the chance to have a lot of units on the board. Just, I kind of want them to be my units, is the only thing that we're probably going to disagree about here. I want to put a lot of my units on the board. So, yeah. He probably wants a lot of his units on the board, though. A lot of his light tanks on the board. I kind of don't like that style of Kermark, though, really, because if you have too many light tanks, you just kind of have a lot of light tanks. And then you don't really have any cards to spend your large bulk of resources on anymore, because they're all on the board, and they're all light tanks. So I like more of a Kermark that has a good number of like medium tanks in it, really. Sorry again about the coughing. Alright. We're going to take it with this, because that's what this is here for. It's here to soak up damage. And we'll move this back, so that can come up and soak up damage if he, like, moves a light tank up here or something. At least this will redraw itself, so that mistake wasn't, like, huge or anything. It wasn't a game-ending mistake, is what I'm trying to say. It's something that I should be aware of that I did, so I don't do it again, because this could be doing one more damage to something that actually matters. Why'd you give up? I mean, we did have a large card advantage, but I mean, it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't horribly lost there, but I mean, I couldn't see his hand. I mean, maybe he had a really, really bad hand. It's always possible. And in that case, it could make sense to surrender. Well, guys, I think that was like 4 games or so, but it's been about 40 minutes, so I think I'm going to cut this here. Thank you very much for watching. As always, the deck list will be in the description. Please leave whatever feedback you feel necessary. Let me know how I'm doing. And thanks very much for watching. I love you all, and have wonderful days. Until next time.